your guys' selves. We'll start with you.
What's up, Righteous MC, Rap Nerds Podcast.
My name Wayne, Say No More Podcast.
Floetic, Rap Nerds Podcast.
Jalil Key, Rap Nerds Podcast.
And Mac Boney, Kush Thoughts Podcast.
Hey.
You know, we out here.
Now, like I said, these are the top black male dominant podcasts here in Minnesota, and I think that speaks super heavy. I know we might have a few more, but for the most part, the people who really take the time to focus on the music and all of that, it's gonna be these guys right here. I know the rap nerds are super new to all of this, but they've still been able to make a decent voice within a short time. So yeah, make sure you guys take the time to follow them, and we will get into this conversation of mental health, music, black men, all of that. For all of you guys, why did you guys choose podcasts? I know you do music on top of this, but why did you guys all choose podcasts?
I think it was a natural thing. You know, it was like me and him, you know, the conversations that we've had just on the phone. You know, you look up at your phone and it's like, yo, bro, we've been on the phone for 3 hours. And then it became a thing where it was like, oh, this is a podcast.
Yeah.
You know, it's natural. This is what we always do. So, you know, I just came up with the idea, say, yo, man, we love hip hop. We always talking about it. Let's do a podcast. You know what I'm saying? And then we got Flo involved. He came in and he brings his energy and, you know, and I think the one thing that we try to keep in mind and tell people is like, we're best friends. These are my best friends. Yeah. So who better to do this with other than your best friend? So yeah, it was simple calculation. It wasn't hard. You know?
Easy. Okay, I know you have the same vibe too.
Yeah, I've been knowing like the homies I've been doing it with, my homie QT, my boy A-Lo, my boy Gaddafi. You know, we've been knowing them since like about 10 plus years. So it was just chemistry flow. It clicked quick. You know, it was no problem. We all love hip hop and love sports and stuff like that. So it was no problem. We were just like, yo, let's just put a microphone up and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? And put a little cushion there, it'll be all right, you know? So I think, you know, with us, it just came with a natural flow. Like, we all just came together as like-minded people with everything we like. So it was like, let's just do it, you know, see what happens.
Okay.
Man, what's wrong with me, man? I don't know how you like, I'm big on I like social media a lot. I like debate shit. I like to start shit. You know what I mean? In a not a negative way. You know what I mean? But not really a positive way. So I like to I wanted to use it just because I wanted to translate the Facebook social media platform to involve locals that's involved. So let's just make it like an open discussion, real life. You know what I mean? So even my first promo videos when I was doing my podcast, it was like, yo, I want local. I want neighbors. I want crackheads from down the street. I want Susie's. I want everybody to come here because they don't ever get no platform to talk. You know what I mean? So it was really started off like that for me, and then you know it just branched off into whatever it is now.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, are you guys all from Minnesota?
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad's not. I mean, my family not.
No.
My family for me. I saw your thing. I saw the thing.
I have my money on him for it. I have my money on him for it.
My dad from the East Coast. She was like, yeah, but I agree with the whole 5 o'clock.
I felt some I was like, I'm from Chicago. Yeah. I've been here like 15 years, but I've been there 15 years. So we're not playing that shit today.
We're not playing that shit. We're not doing that. If you've been here 15 plus years, your ID say Minnesota on it. You from it. We gonna. That's it.
St. Paul.
That's it.
Yeah, my parents from down south, so it's like I was born and raised here, you know, by choice. I'm like, damn, we couldn't just say it down south, but California, Texas, something cold as fuck up there. Like, damn, I stay ashy too much.
I moved here about 5 years ago, actually. Okay. I'm from Gary, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
My family's from there.
Been there most of my life.
You made it out.
Yeah, you did. Definitely.
I went there once to visit my family, never went back. Listen, I had to take the Greyhound into that bitch. All the lights was out. I was so scared.
That's fucked up with the Greyhound fucked up.
Listen, I've never been so scared in my life.
Mega Bucks when you go through there, and she's like, nah, we're gonna pass that time.
Listen,
We're gonna get the
we had to drive like 30 minutes. We had to go to Maryville just to get groceries or anything. I'd never seen nothing like that. It literally looked like a war zone. I'm from the suburbs here. Like, I'm grateful. I grew up very poor because my mom took care of all of us by herself. But for the most part, she never had us like out here in the streets or in the hood or nothing. So I'm super blessed on that part. So when I went there, I was like, oh no.
This is too much for me. What is this?
My brother was dying. There was a situation where there was gunshots and I like tweaked out. And my brother looked at me and the first thing was, he's like, they not shooting over here. And I was like, oh, I need to go home. I was like, I gotta go. And I was so scared. And he still calls me for that to this day. I'm like, listen, I'm not built for it. And I've made peace with that. Okay, so we'll transition over to the other part. When the conversation of mental health comes up, how do you guys feel like you respond to that? Like, what does that mean to you?
I mean, this is something that we don't talk about enough for black people. You know what I mean? Not even just black men, black people in general. You know what I mean? Like, it's black people that don't even know they walking around with trauma. Just from seeing shit that's normal. And that shit's not fucking normal. You know what I mean? Like, it's not normal, but it became normal as conditions. So, I mean, that's kind of what I think of, like, awareness, you know what I mean? Like, bringing more awareness to that shit for black people and shit.
It's a funny thing too, because like coming from Gary, there's like a lot of stuff that's been happen or I've seen happen as like you just gotta tuck that in.
Yeah.
I come here, right? Righteous telling me like, hey man, I know you where you from and everything, but you ain't gotta do that around here.
Yo, true story. We was on the phone, just building, having a conversation. And this is my best friend, but we ain't quite there yet. So he's like, yo, bro, all right, we're gonna talk tomorrow? Yeah, for sure. All right, love you, bro. And I go, all right, Jaleel, love you, bro. And he like, thank you. So that it's still in there, though. It's still in there. Try to pull it out of him.
How did that make you feel though, like hearing that? Like, because I'm sure you're not used to that. That's not really like embedded in the concept of male friendship.
Definitely uncomfortable, but I understood the place where it was coming from, so it was like, cool.
That's why I make us family though. Like me and him, like on that concept, we was really arguing. Like we was for real mad, like trying to, get to the bottom of things. And after that, I was like, hey, love you, bro. And then, like I say, he said it to him, and I was like, all right, you're reaching out. You're not gonna get that out of him.
But that's one of the things that, we try to promote throughout the podcast is just unity amongst each other. And that helps us with our, emotions, and that helps us with our mental health. You know what I'm saying? Just us being able to get on the phone every Sunday or whatever and just talk about what we love, it builds us up. You know what I'm saying? It makes us happy to do that. So as far as mental health is concerned, that's one of the avenues that we take to, feel better about, things.
Facts.
Do any of you guys suffer from any mental health issues, whether that's depression, whether that's anxiety, any of that stuff?
I've seen a little trauma, little trauma I went through, younger ways, but like, for me, I got through it just talking to people, people I actually trusted. Mm-hmm. So like, the one thing with us, especially men, we always gonna be just hold our emotions in like a motherfucker. We gonna be all cock deep like, well, we gonna try that, but by yourself, behind them floating four walls, you gonna sit there by yourself and think, like, damn, like I went through this. Ain't nothing wrong with even expressing that, what you go through. It's like, it's all about who you trust and all about just letting yourself know, hey man, everyone have their own story, so. It ain't nothing to feel like, oh, I went through this, they're gonna judge me. It ain't about the judgment. It's about just releasing that from your inner self and making you feel better, because you can give from, like even with forgiveness, you can't forgive somebody, you can't forgive, then you gotta forgive yourself first before you forgive anybody else, so that's my thing.
Have you guys been able to figure out what it is that triggers, those symptoms, whether it's just the trauma, whether it's anything? Have you guys taken that self-time to figure out what triggers you?
Yeah. I can't. It's bitch assness. I can't be around like bitch assness. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a fair guy, and I talk shit, but I also I can be held accountable, and I know when to talk shit, when not to. Yep. I know boundaries. You know what I mean?
Okay.
A lot of people, they don't get that. They don't. That's what it is, and it's like if the moment you try to tell somebody to be held accountable, they can't. Right. All of a sudden you fake. You like, what do you do? And they can't say shit. They just he's mean. What the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
All No.
See where I'm coming from?
Really, yeah. And I've been trying to get better because you know what I mean. My mom a therapist and shit, so I don't go to therapy, but I talk to my mama. You know what I'm saying? But she a therapist, so I go to therapy. I told her she got to relax. But she gonna try to tell me that. But anyway, yeah, man. Just really that, knowing how to process and knowing how to be around people, because that's really my main thing, how I process the shit. Because you know, you're gonna be around that shit regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even it's gonna be random, so you gotta just only thing you can focus on is how you process and how you react. So I'm witty and I'll joke on you. You know what I mean? In a respectful way.
I have always dealt with depression and anxiety. A lot of trauma growing up. Lots of trauma, and I'm still undoing a ton of it. Like something new comes up every week. Right now, I'm undoing the trauma that I dealt with from my father. So my father did a lot of drugs when we were younger, did a lot of bullshit in and out of the house, stealing, all of that stuff, putting my mom in bad situations. And recently he had a situation where he kind of went back to that. And that brought up a lot of anxiety and trauma that I thought that I dealt with, either that or I just pushed it away.
Yeah.
And so I have been taking the initiative to do something completely different when it comes to dealing with my trauma, and I learned how to channel that into what I put into my body. So when I'm going through stuff like that, I fast. And it's been really hard on me, like super hard. Like this last 2 weeks have been hell. But it teaches me to deal with the raw emotions and not push them away. It teaches me to allow them to take, you know, the form that they're supposed to form and push it out the right way instead of pushing it away. Because I'm very good at pushing my feelings away. Very, very good at pushing it to the side. I grew up mainly with brothers, so I'm very hard. I'm with the shits 100%. And I have zero issues letting niggas know what's good, what's up. And that's a huge problem for me. It's definitely hindered me in a lot because I'm really with the shits, and I enjoy being in that space, but like I don't enjoy it. And so I'm trying to learn that boundary, that now that I'm a businesswoman, I can't be ready to slap bitches on site no more, which sucks. Listen, I can't wait to hire a bodyguard to be like, that's like the first thing on payroll.
I wish Suge Knight had the same mentality when he was with Death Row, because he sounded like Baby Suge right now. Slap the shit out of these executives. Say something about me.
Listen, I can't wait till I can pay somebody to do that shit. It's hard for me. I'm a Cancer woman, so I'm super emotional, and I tend to let my emotions guide me. So sometimes I have a really bad habit of acting off of emotions instead of logic, which has been a huge issue for me. And I've done really good at managing that this last year and a half. But I've also learned to put all of that into this podcast, which I didn't realize I needed until the last like 6 months. I had somebody ask me like, why do you do this? And I couldn't think of anything outside of selfish reasons. Yeah,
It is.
It is, yeah.
It's like going to the barbershop to me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you just go, you ain't gotta get your hair cut. You just sitting there hearing the stories from last night in the club. You like, I ain't doing that, but I'm here, we did, you know.
Crazy shit in the barbershop on Saturday morning.
Man, you'll hear about 6 crackheads fighting to, you saw Randy Moss at the club. Some random, I was 8 years old and I heard that. I'm like, you saw Moss and the crackhead the same place? Like, what?
Randy Moss.
I heard straight cash. I didn't get what he meant, but okay, I guess.
Yeah, so that's the conversation that I honestly wish that we could push a little bit more, that our art is a form of our therapy for us.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not looked at that as much as it should be. I know we get into the conversation of therapy is expensive, yada yada, and while this shit is very much expensive, I can honestly say for myself that I feel good when I make certain decisions when it comes to this. I feel like my voice is important, and although I feel like it's important to make sure that I'm helping other people, this is also helping me. And I don't think it gets better than that. So.
And I'm glad you said that, because you know, I went through like a phase. I don't want to call it a phase. It was a moment in my life where everything was like very confusing. You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to figure out what was going on, and you know, you start doing things a little differently. You know, you start covering the shades up, you know, putting the black curtains up and staying in your room with your headphones on, and you don't really know why. And then one day, you know, you get told that maybe you got, you know, a little depression or something like that, and they diagnose you with clinical depression, trauma. I don't hate it. I don't hate it because I'm gonna tell you why I don't hate it. It's because sometimes you need to understand what you're dealing with to be able to fix it. Because I had a problem. I just didn't know what it was. Now, as far as the, you know, the labels and stuff like that, I don't choose to live by those labels, especially because after the situation, they want to say, here, take these pills, and you'll feel better. And it's like, no, I don't feel better. I just feel weird now.
Yeah.
So, you know, for me, growing up an only child, a lot of times I get stuck in here.
Yes.
I didn't have brothers and sisters to talk to all of the time. So, you know, growing up, that's what I needed. Yes. I needed friends. I needed people that, you know, felt the way I felt about things, people to talk to. And, you know, voila, I have my friends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like me and this dude right here, oh my goodness. Like it took a minute for us to get, you know what I'm saying, link up, but once we did, like I'm a part of this family now.
Yeah.
Like I go to their family reunions, like I have that now. So that's big for me, like in dealing with stuff that go on here.
Yeah, the first time I ever realized I had depression, I was young. Now, all of that stuff runs in my family very heavily. Depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety, all of that. I watched my mom battle it on a regular basis. She had 5 of us by herself. So she didn't really get much time for friends or like to have outlets. She didn't smoke, she didn't drink. You know, she worked and that was it. And she carried that with her every day. And when I found out I was pregnant, that was the only image that was in my head. And that made my pregnancy very hard because I was very scared. Because I didn't know how I was going to deal with that, the aftermath of that. You know, they had the conversation of postpartum depression and all of that. And I knew the history of my family and how the women carried that. And I was terrified. I was terrified. That was one of the biggest things that like kept me up at night. And now as a mother, that's my main priority, is to make sure that my daughter always sees that I'm happy and I have a smile on my face. And that she knows that it's genuine and that like I enjoy doing what I'm doing. But it took me really until a year or two ago to really accept the fact that I do deal heavily with that and the triggers into it and learning how to manage it in a healthy manner. Still not there yet, but we're getting there.
Okay, take time. Take time for progression.
Process, you know? And just you knowing, you know what I mean? Knowledge itself is key. You knowing, you being aware is
Right.
A lot of people, I got people I know I love dearly, they still walking dead blind.
Yeah.
Like, they're not addressing the facts. And I'm like, yo,
It's scary though.
Look like you sad all the time.
Yeah, you gotta face it. You gotta face it.
But they can't get through that part. That's the scariest part. I can't imagine being in that space. You know, I feel like everybody has at least once been in that space. And you're super lucky if you're able to get past that and continue to see. Because there are some people who are lost in that. And they don't have that motivation to get through it. And I watch it every single day in my family. It's me and my sisters, and then all the older women in my family, and all the older women in my family are stuck, and they're okay with being stuck.
Conditioned.
Yeah, and it sucks because growing up, I really didn't have any like strong women to look up to. So I'm Cuban, black and white. My mother is Cuban and white, and then my father is black. And so growing up, I didn't have any representation of what that kind of look like, what a black woman look like any of that type of stuff. So I spent a good portion of my childhood completely confused about who I was. I didn't know if I was Hispanic, I didn't know if I was white, I didn't know if I was black. I went through a phase of completely straightening my hair. I used to put like globs of grease in my shit and just it was terrible. So I went through like all of these phases of trying to figure out who it is and who I am, and it really took me until I was maybe 25, which was 2 years ago, to be like, I'm a black woman, that's it. You know, my grandfather looks like me. My mother doesn't look like me, but her grandparents look like her, or look like me. So like, it really took a lot to deal with that. And that was a huge trigger too for my anxiety and my depression, not feeling like I belonged or like I didn't have a space to just be. Yeah. It happens. I think also being from here in Minnesota, that's a huge factor for a lot of people who are mixed. And because I think Minneapolis is really just like a huge melting pot. And so some areas it's more white, and then some areas it's more black, some areas it's more Mexican, but there's never really an in-between.
Yeah, that was different for me, because when I came here, I was like, man, it's the first Asian I ever seen.
Right, yeah. And it's funny, I just heard people say that from other places. They was like, what the fuck, why you going? Because like, man, like St. Paul is so fucking diverse. Like,
It is.
It's so diverse here. And like, I got teammates from, you know what I mean, Atlanta that's been here, and they come here and they're like, what is, like, they didn't know. Like, they was genuinely confused.
The first time I ever had my brothers up here from Gary, Indiana, I was like, yeah, y'all got Somalians. And they're like, what the fuck is this?
They know.
That's what I was getting at. They was like, what is, they was like, African? I'm like, no, they are African. He's like, so what up? I'm like, yo, B. They are what they are.
For real. I kid you not. We came out here, we would just be driving down the street and I would see all these buildings say the same name. And I'm like, yo, whoever Halal is, he got a lot of like spots for it. Somebody was like, bro, Halal is, that's not a good person. Like, I'm like, never seen.
Oh, that's real. That's genuine.
Like, I come from a small part of Chicago called Roseland, small community, 98.8% black. I ain't seen nobody else. Maybe like a few Mexicans, you know, Hispanic people here and there, but for the most part, it's just black. So when I came here, I'm like, oh my goodness, what do you mean?
It was tough for me up here because I'm born I live in Bloomington, so I grew up in Bloomington. So it was everybody. I saw everybody. I'm like, damn, like, where the black people at? Because like, at my first grade class, I had 3 black people in it, including myself. So I was like, oh hell no, what's going on? Like, so when I moved to Mississippi when I was in 5th grade, oh, it was totally different. I mean, when I got in middle school, I saw motherfuckers already pregnant. I'm like, hold on, who auntie is it? Oh, that's Crystal. I'm like, oh, that's. Oh, hell no, they were selling nickel bags in class, so it's like, I went through the whole, just climate change just fucked me. I was like, this shit is different. Where you from? Minnesota? They was like, Minnesota? They thought I was from Massachusetts or goddamn Idaho or something. Like, we got the mall, nigga, like, shit, we got the football team. We got the mall. We got some over here.
Well, so with all of this and the mental health, what part does music play for you guys when it comes to that conversation?
Probably the biggest one. Like, that's how I get away from certain shit. You know what I mean? I listen to I'm stuck in like in the era of music. I'm stuck like in 90s. Like, I listen to real rap. Like, I listen like.
So you having a terrible day? Your day is pissed off. Your car not starting. You left your wallet at home.
See, that's
all of
different.
it. What album are you putting on?
I won't listen to rap that day. I'll probably listen to shit. Put on some George Michael and roll out this place. I don't know. That day I'll probably put on some young Michael Jackson, man. For real, man. I'm a Mike fan. You know? Shout out to Gary. Shout out to Gary.
Michael Jackson definitely can bring me out of funk. Rock with you, off top. You cannot like. You can't even be in a bad mood.
Human nature, my shit right there. Human nature get me. I'll be up in here washing dishes out of nowhere. Like, I'm cleaning up.
That's the best way I can. The best album, shit. I can't say an album. I say artist. I listen to Jay-Z. I listen to some Hov. I throw on some Locks. You know what I mean? Just chill. I can get into the new school stuff, but you know, it's like I know what I'm getting myself into. Like,
I'm a sucker for that. I've had so many questions, and niggas be like, "Who the old rappers?" Wrong question for me. Wrong question for me. Like, I was big Keith Vog on the way over here. Like that. Like, wrong question. I'm not one of those girls who's like, oh my god, yeah. No, listen, I'm Moneybag, King Von, Lil Durk. Listen, that is what y'all get from me. I sell drugs. I shoot niggas.
They talk about that same shit too.
It's different sound.
It's different energy though. Like, I mean,
I fuck with King Von and you know what I mean. Them dudes you said. I was more talking about the guys I don't fuck with.
Like who?
Shit. Holy shit. I mean, there's so many of these guys.
There are a lot. Like,
Lil Pump.
I don't know.
Okay, that's
I'm looking
not
to get
even a
Lil
part of this
Pump.
conversation.
Lil Uzi Vert, those type of guys.
Okay, I mean,
The colored hair. I don't even like Sauce Walker, but I hate his appearance, and that's
I ain't
crazy.
like when all that allegation came out about him prostitution and all them hoes and shit, so I ain't fucking with that.
I didn't know about that.
All right, I'm like, wait a minute, look into this.
so I think it's,
My bad.
I guess for me, I look at it like this, right? With my line of work, I have to learn how to adapt on a regular basis to new music because I can't keep interviewing old heads. I'm not like, no disrespect, but I'm tired of talking about Jay-Z and Hov. I'm tired of those interviews. It's the same conversation. Who in your top 5? It's the same niggas. Like, we get it. Like, give us something different. We get it. There's so many young artists out here, and I know the narrative is, oh, they're young, they're reckless, they don't give a fuck, but that's because nobody's taking the time to nurture them. All those old rappers,
They were
old J. Cole.
20s, 30s.
Yeah, but they
30s.
were mentored the right way.
That too. When they saw something, I think it was like the same thing with like our parents had when my sister was listening to like, hip hop in the 90s. It's always be the old head, young head, generational gap always. So like,
It's always gonna be.
it's gonna be people saying the young head's gonna be like, this is my idol I grew up on, and we gonna be like that. So we can't hate on that. I think we should do is respect each other, even.
That's the thing right there. I feel like the
Respect.
difference between all those different eras and this one is they don't
at all.
They don't know.
At all.
They only respect disrespect.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got nephews.
They only
you know what I mean?
expect
They be
Clout.
going in.
Oh, you don't have 1 million followers? Off top, you should stop talking to me.
That, you can't even. You can tell her. You can give them some real life, some constructive criticism, and this motherfucker will take it the wrong way.
He got money though.
All of a sudden, you're hating on
He got a Gucci belt on some Balenciagas.
He got on right now. But he got the
You gonna
platform.
say some shit like, "I'm in my bag. I'm doing what I want." What the fuck? What bag is this? What bag is this? What bag? You want to work like us? What bag? So that's what it is. It's the entitlement. I feel like with the younger generation. And me,
No, for real.
I like to teach the young kids, but I'm also one of them. If you ain't gonna learn, man, fuck you. I'm about to slander you now.
Yeah, I had one of them moments too.
I'm gonna slander you.
I told the kid, don't talk to
I think
me.
that the younger generation of artists right now, they really just they're a reflection of the times that we living in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna reflect their times. You talk about Jay-Z, Nas, and all these guys. They grew up in a time where it was like, yo, y'all stay over there, we stay over here, we get money, we do this, we do that, and we just gonna keep it like that. Now it's like, no, F that side.
Internet.
You know what I'm saying? F them over there.
Smoking on what's the name, whoever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's
That's
just-
like that's the number one thing to say. Somebody died, all of a sudden they attack now. I'm like, I ain't see that nigga at the
I'm like,
dispensary.
ooh. I'm gonna try to get the right bag next time because I want to.
Yeah, I think
They have a lot to prove, man, and social media don't make it no better. I don't want to give them the benefit of the doubt. That's why, like me, I hate people I don't like academics. I like when
I can't
I don't fuck with that nigga.
I hate him.
That's like the
I hate
niggas
him.
who should have been had his ass beat.
That nigga, he should be gone. He promotes. I'm not saying he should be dead. He should be gone. Like
Well, look at when he
he
first came
promotes
out.
black genocide, bro.
Exactly.
And then people come in. I'll be honest. Him and Vlad is the same person to me. But one thing I would say is this: Vlad is asking you a question. You can answer them questions yes or no.
Academics just going off his.
Academics, bro, something that happened in the streets, he turned into fucking low down dirty shame on IG, tagging everybody. You know who's watching that shit more than us? You know who's watching that shit more than us? People that's not black.
No, yeah.
That's the problem.
They control
right
that.
there.
They control that whole. They control that whole narrative. They somehow figured it out. They got the money for it,
You like right, you
and that's
figured
it.
out.
They figured it out. They said, "Oh, this shit's easy. We just need to put some Balenciagas on, put a
That's
cool
it.
Travis
It's all
Scott fit
image,
on,
it's image.
and that's it. We
You
in."
gotta maintain the
Run up
likes
on
on
my
Instagram.
man, my best friend, you know what I mean? You
Twitter
put me on a
follow.
run up on him, you know what I
Listen.
mean?
Man.
This
I will say that, man, they're up against a lot of bullshit odds.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's shit. Older people gotta find the best way, you know what I mean, to show them, you know what I mean, to communicate it, because they're not gonna accept the way we deliver it 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, they don't like even.
It's not even meant for them to accept it that way. Like you said, it's a different time. You can't talk to them like that.
Well, young cats don't like being preached to either. That's the one thing also. So it's like you gotta. Well, back in the '90s when hip hop was out, it was a mixture of like he put the sugar with the medicine. It was a mixture of it. You know, so you're getting knowledge, but you're getting that
Getting the
same.
candy,
Like,
you know,
yeah, you're still getting that same. You know, I'm still chilling and shit. But I ain't getting all taught lessons and shit. But you still getting taught
They need
something.
better friends though.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it is, like I said, the whole generational gap with motherfuckers is different. You know, me personally, y'all see the shirt I got on. I love 90s hip hop, you know, I listen to 70s funk, you know, soul, all that. So like, I'm an old head when it comes to music.
Yeah, I said
But-
y'all all old, right?
Yeah, I'm old,
Y'all
yeah.
like what?
I'm 27.
I'm 29.
I'm 27.
Everybody say their age first. Alright, I'm the oldest person here. Alright, yeah. 32.
We here.
Okay, we know that. Okay, I'm 20. Ooh, I'm 26. I be forgetting because like I feel a lot younger. I'm in this weird like phase in my life where like I feel younger than I actually am because the last 3 years have been really like good to me growth wise and stuff. So I feel younger than what I actually am. So I keep forgetting because like how old are you? And I'm like,
I was 26 last week. I knew I was lying. I'm back. Don't say that.
I use my 2K player to keep up with my age.
A lot of
I
VC
put my
players
age
invest
in
in
the back of the number, and it was like, all right, cool. That's why.
All right, so when we get into the conversation of music, what was the hardest death for you guys musically over the last couple of years?
Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. I'll be honest, like none of them shits really hit me, but I would say the impact was clearly it's Nipsey. You know what I mean? Like
For me, I think the reason why I said him is because what I appreciated about Nipsey was, you know, like the music. I mean, it's not necessarily what I'm drawn to. You know what I'm saying? But him as a person. You know what I'm saying? The way that he, you know, maneuvered throughout his career, doing everything independently. Like when you talk about getting it from the mud, like he got it from the mud. And then when he got it, he didn't necessarily turn his back on his community.
Right.
He started building in his community, doing things for the kids, you know, creating jobs and opportunities for other people. So when he lost his life in that tragic way, it was kind of like, yo, man, this dude is out here doing all of the, he not out here, you know, F that side and forget, you know, he out here doing positive things. So it's like, it puts you in a state where it's like, you can't do nothing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you do a good thing, they try to take you out. So
that shit fucked me up. That was the one death that had me just sitting in the hallway bawling my eyes out. Like I felt that shit in my stomach. That was the one I had. I think I had worked that day. I was bartending. I had such a long day. I had to come home and record a podcast. Everybody got there, and then I looked at my phone and I was like, no. Like that one hurt. Like couldn't go to work hurt. And just like you were saying, I personally love Nipsey musically, but that was not his strong point. And I think everybody who was a real fan of him can stand on that. It was his aura. It was the fact that he was a man first before everything, and he stood on that. I mean, man first. Address me as a man. Don't address me as an artist. Don't address me as a crib. Address me as a man. And he stood on that. And
that's why you like the music.
Yeah.
It made you get into it.
Yeah. Like, yo, I invested in him as a person. Let me check out his music. You know what I'm saying? So
it's hella motivation with him though. That's what else sucked. Like he was just young and he was just even in interviews you just sit back and just catch so many goddamn gems. You just sit there and be like, damn. Like how old is this motherfucker? How old is he? Like you gonna turn like an OG in the goddamn hood at 50 years old, but that death was I want him to be hard. Cause I love the West Coast hard. You know what I'm saying? So when he died, it was just like, damn.
Yeah.
In his own community too.
I went to the site after he passed, and I couldn't. That shit was hard. I couldn't even be out there. I couldn't take pictures. Nothing. My friends were so about it. Like, you're not taking a picture. I'm like, I feel this shit in my soul. I can't do nothing but stand here and pray. I can't do nothing. That one was really hard. That one is dark.
The impact that his death made. You got Crips and Bloods who don't, you know, poly with each other at all. They like, yo, we gotta come together for this.
His homegoing was definitely one for the books, and he deserved that for sure. With that narrative, as black men, what is a narrative that focuses on black men that you guys wish didn't exist?
Grabbing the barrel mentality. We gotta stop this. I think just like it's not really it's a mixture of a myth and a real thing because we see it every day. You see people like you even see when you try to send someone like, you know, hey, my link, you know, share this or something like that. You can see, or they'll look at it and not say nothing. But be their next man, they'll put up quick. It's like it's stuff like that we gotta stop too and we just gotta come together. Unity is something we really need in this right now. It's like we gotta stop all this discrediting each other. We gotta come together as one because if we don't, we're gonna be in the motherfucking same shit we've been for the past 450 years. So
what about you guys?
That's just real, man. That's it's just entitlement, man. People feel entitled. Like, and I'm a person like, you can share my shit, you ain't gotta share my shit. I'm not gonna be feeling no type of way like you gotta share it though. And that's the thing. People, you don't share my shit. And they start having these battles in their fucking head.
Yeah, going back, he don't like me.
Whole time, this nigga not even thinking about you.
Exactly.
He's literally not thinking about you. He didn't even know that you rubbed him the wrong way. Exactly. So I think communication, you know what I mean? That lead, that entitled shit, nothing is yours, but your life, you know what I mean? We gotta stop that shit. Even with people's relationships, I see dudes I know, they think the girl is there, like she's your girl, I guess, you know what I mean? I get it, but it's like, bro, at the end of the day, we're human, right? If something happened, anything, you know what I mean? Who is you to get mad and, you know what I mean, put your hands on it, you know what I mean? So I just, that entitlement gotta stop, because that happens with everything, you know what I mean? Like, why you gotta go to that?
That's real shit though.
Interesting. Okay. What role do you guys wish was more associated with black men in that conversation?
Shit, just focus on the positives. I mean, not the negatives. Like we focus, like even like how we talking about the crab and the man. There's plenty of people that don't deal with that. There's plenty of black people that, you know what I mean, just unite. There's plenty of that shit. So I mean, focus on that. You know what I mean? Like focus on the good examples in bad situations. Like look at them, they did it. You know what I mean? Instead of saying, look, we gotta do this. We can't do this. Just look, they did it.
So changing our words, I get where that comes from. I know there's been a lot of talk of the whole people would rather support white brands and then bad talk black brands. Like, oh, you had a terrible attitude, you had terrible customer service, we'll never shop again.
Well, that's just kind of true at times. Like, I didn't that's gotta be addressed.
He said,
It's accountability. It's the accountability. We gotta stop doing that, like, because that's real. But me, I won't unless like I try not to slander a black person's business publicly, but I will let them know like, hey man, you should focus on this or that better, because there is times when I'm trying to support black local businesses, and the service ain't what it should be. And that's just we all. I mean, I don't know about y'all. I'm pretty sure I dealt with that more than a couple times.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that. So I remember the last time we met when we were meeting for the situation, and you were putting me onto your friend who sold water. So I went and added him because I was trying to support him and get water, and that meant nigga slid in my inbox. It was like, how you doing? You sing? I was like, damn, I just wanted some water. Like you just lost a whole customer.
He took the whole narrative like, hey, what's up, man?
So the Minnesota Vikings didn't make the playoffs this year. He's wild though.
Now, one thing that I do want to mention as far as how black men are perceived is that we don't take responsibility.
That's a huge one.
That's one that I hate that one, because the black men that I know, they all take responsibility for every single part of their life. These two brothers up here, these are, I hope y'all don't mind me saying, these are married men with children. You know what I'm saying? They get up and go to work every single day, 2 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? My man, like they don't know. I'm older than them, but I look up to them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like kill that whole thing about black men are responsible, we don't take care of our kids and our friends. Yo, stop that, man. Like there's some brothers out here who are working very hard to take care of their families and do what they gotta do. You know what I'm saying? I know they probably don't want to do all that stuff, but it's what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? They proud to do it. So yeah, for sure.
I definitely said on that. So the first couple of years of parenting have been a little tricky. The whole baby daddy conversation. Not a fan of it. Weak as fuck. Weak as hell.
Vikings, they ain't playing.
But for the most part, I can stand on the fact that majority of the black men that are in my life always made sure she was good. Even when like that situation was, I know for a fact who I can call. I know offhand I can call at least 5 niggas that'll make sure that my daughter's good, and that's friends, my brothers, any of that. Whether it's just them calling and checking up on her or any of that kind of stuff. And so I definitely agree on that part. Majority of the goodness I've seen has come from black men, especially when it comes to kids and stepping up and doing this shit. So that's huge for sure. For sure. All right. So all in all, we're gonna wrap this up, but I want you guys to kind of get into your own personal podcast and what your goal is with that, and then we'll close this up. So.
Start it that way. All right, so Mac Boney from Kush Thoughts Podcast. Y'all can check me out on any platform, you know what I'm saying, Spotify, all that shit, you know what I'm saying. But my goal is this was actually just, because everyone raps. Me, I love hip hop and I love the culture. I love speaking on the culture as much as possible and giving my input on shit. But with this, I wanted to get to I want to destroy those DJ Academics, Vlad TV type of motherfuckers, because these motherfuckers don't be knowing shit. That's for one. And they don't know our culture. Like, academics, you might be black, but you ain't really with us, because you in the basement talking all this gangster shit, but you play GTA, that's about it, my nigga. So my thing is, I ain't no gangster either, I'm just a strong black man that's trying to get this shit right, trying to get my shit going as much as possible. But with this, I want this platform to go somewhere bigger than where it's at right now. I want to get this shit actually nationwide. I want motherfuckers actually to come, hey man, come speak on this. I want to have that situation where my people win and I can help someone else win, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm going for right now is unity and just getting my voice heard, because they speak for the voiceless.
What resources do you feel like you need for yourself to get to that point?
I just want to get more and more like this right here. This right here was perfect for me. I always been wanting to get more black, podcast. Even White too, no problem, sir. But just want to make sure everybody that everyone in the city that's like, talking about the same thing I speak on. I want to collaborate. I want to get more collaborations. I want to work with more artists in the cities. I want to actually, I've talked to people, from different states. I talked to Blue, if I know what Blue is. Interview Blue. So it's like, some things like that. I want to actually try to get my people from here, like, even from not even rappers, just like if you paint. If you got up in here selling t-shirts, if you up in here selling, water, you don't hit my DMs up. But, anything like that, like, and shit like that, I just want just to work with more people up in here that's actually creative and, just trying to get their shit up as much as possible. So that's what I want to say.
They call me on guard with that.
Now, I think, our goal for the Rap Nerds podcast, we love hip hop, you know what I'm saying? That's always just, the number one thing that we kind of focus on. It builds, it's the bridge to communication, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we'll start off with a topic and then we'll go wherever. Right. But I think the ultimate goal for us is to continue, spreading positivity and having that unity amongst each other. We always talk about the, crabs in the barrel mentality that goes on. I'm willing to talk to, I don't care who you are, you know what I'm saying? As long as you ain't on no freaky stuff, you know what I'm saying? As long as you cool, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I'm willing some freaky people out here, some weird stuff, you know what I'm saying? But as long as I ain't on no weird stuff, man, I'm willing to talk to anybody about anything, you know what I'm saying? Especially hip hop, and not just hip hop, just we can have discussions and we can build with one another, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's kind of missing a little bit. We talked about it earlier, but just, reaffirming that, that's missing. We need to really start, just supporting one another, talking about things that are on our minds, building each other up, you know what I'm saying? Just putting the battery in each other back,
Okay.
Keeping it going.
That's something we love, so.
I think, for me, it was just, the culture needs the right commentators, you know what I mean?
That's
you know what I mean? That's why, you watch basketball sports, they get the right commentators on there. That's how I simply look at it. I ain't trying to, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to see nobody not from the culture telling me about the culture. I personally don't care. I don't. There's no disrespect to you. I just don't care. I'm not gonna ask Tiger Woods who his favorite hockey player is. You know what I mean?
He might say Wayne Gretzky.
He probably will say it. You know what I mean? My name Wayne, so I would say it too. So you know what I mean? I get it. But no, other than that, I'm just trying to just bring, the right commentators to it. You know what I mean? Have some wittiness. You know what I mean? Because my shit is, I put my shit labeled as comedy because I'm talking shit every other word, but. So I like to, just kind of bring that, have real soft conversations about the culture, whatever it is, the locals, and also, have a sense of humor in between. Because some people get tight, they be, just relax.
Yo, we be clouded. Same here, dog.
So that's really it for me, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, just want to inspire people. You know what I'm saying? Do something constructive. You know what I'm saying? Because show people it's not hard cause you get in your own mind, you get in your own way thinking I gotta do this. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. We literally just thought hey, we should do a podcast. And just go do it.
Yeah, I do this because I think it's important to make sure that we're sitting down and having a conversation outside of hip hop and the GOATs and all of that. I think we also need to be focusing on why so many black men and black women do this. And I don't think that conversation is directly had the way it needs to be had. And I feel like it's a huge missing piece to what goes on in the industry and all of that. I feel like the money and the attention has consumed the real reason that black people turn to dancing, singing, rapping, and all of that. And so I kind of want to continue to push that narrative that this is a form of therapy. We just need to make sure that we're using it the right way and we're handling it with care and making sure that we continue to gatekeep this because we haven't done a good job at that. And really get to a point where we control this narrative a little bit more. I know that Minneapolis hasn't had too much of it, and I know we've seen a lot of big platforms fall. And I just want to continue to push for everybody to kind of come together. I feel like the conversation of coming together happens a lot, but nobody really puts too much action. I think a lot of people talk about it because it sounds good, but this really does matter, and it really makes it different when it comes to how certain things are done. There's really only one or two dominant podcasts when it comes to the music shit, and it's none of us. And that's a problem. That's a huge problem.
It is, because there's a lot of beautiful, brilliant minds up here, including everyone in this room.
Everybody
everyone
in
else
this,
in the
including
city.
Nathan,
You know
like,
what I'm saying?
this type of content, this type of shit, it matters. We matter. Our voices matter, and we shouldn't be having to fight so hard for a community that is ours, that we came from, that our kids get to grow up in, and all of that. So I hope that we can continue to do stuff like this, and I hope that you guys will work with me over the next couple of months. I have some really big things in progress right now, and I need your guys' help. I can't do it by myself. I'm the only woman doing what I'm doing right now with this message, and doing it in the way that I am, and I cannot do it by myself.
We here.
So I
I
cannot do it by myself. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to understand how to do all of this while still going through my own mental health journey. And I'm hoping that we all can do that together, so that way we can be stronger. We're stronger together. We're stronger, healthy, and for the next year or so, I hope that we can continue to build on that and continue to bring more people into this. Need you guys. Please. I feel so alone in all of this, and I know this is a very male-dominated field, and I want to be able to bring more women onto this, but unfortunately right now, it's just me until we can get to that point. So I kind of need y'all to really step into this.
You can be the inspiration for real. You can be that spark to someone, be like, you know what, I'm gonna do this shit too.
Listen, I'm the cute face behind you, okay? But I really do need you guys to kind of step it up when it comes to the podcast conversations, so we can push all of this together. This summer, I'm releasing an entire marketing campaign for artists specifically, for underground artists. When it comes to marketing their stuff, I need help with that. I want to open up a couple, there's a few other things too that I want to do. I want to start having conversations on a regular basis about this, segments on all of this stuff. So I need you guys to hold me accountable too. I need you guys to step in wherever you feel like you need to step in. I know that we all lack resources on stuff, but if we're together, we don't lack nothing. You know, I'm smart, I know what I'm doing, so I need some voices in my head besides my own. Okay. So this is my please help me offer. This shit is hard as fuck. Please help me. We are gonna close this out. Thank you guys. Please make sure you guys take the time to follow every single one of the Rap Nerd, Kush Thoughts Podcast, Say No More Podcast. Super important. Also make sure you guys check out Blk Bliss Podcast on every platform. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of it. Thank you, Nathan.
Appreciate you, brother.
Starin of the city.
Got some merch.